Hello and welcome to the Pat Burns Arena for semifinal day of the CPSHA playoffs, as we have semifinal one underway here between the Rothesay Netherwood School wearing white and Bishop's College School wearing a combination of purple, gray, and black. Should be a good one here as we are set to get underway. This will be Rothesay and Alves Pereira to take the opening draw, as that is controlled by the Bears. Here's Collingwood to Ostrich. Ostrich up to the wall as that gets shipped into the Rothesay Netherwood end for Dunlap. Dunlap around, up, and now to Alves Pereira in the middle. He's not bumped, but he'll put that puck in deep. And Moore's first to it, so no icings, as RNS looks to attack. That puck's turned over to Rothesay, who'll get it to the line for Dunlap. Dunlap looks cross ice, just out of the reach of Spurl. As he gets it back to Morris, will send it up to Gorman, but he can't hold the line, so RNS will have to retreat. But here comes Dunlap off the rush, trying to hit the Bears on a change. It's Morris to the front of the net, but that is behind Spurl, as this puck gets across the red line and put in deep by Legault, and he'll chase after it. Legault winning that battle. He'll try to put one out front, but that hits the back of the net, so that took a weird bounce. But here comes the Riverhawks. Here's McMullen in by himself. He'll cut in. Shot, glove, save by today's starting goaltender, Tyler Fuicelli, for the Bears. And for the Riverhawks, we have number 29, Marty Hackenberg. As this faceoff will come to the left of Fuicelli after a nice glove save. Face-off won by the Bears as that gets rimmed around the wall. But put it back into neutral zone there by McClement. And now the Bears back with it. Here they come down the wall. This is Boisclair. He'll put it deep where Pelche will retrieve, and he'll put it up the wall. And now flipped out by Robinson, but just to the blue line as Fuicelli plays it off to his teammate, who'll get a shot. Blocker save by Hackenberg and out of play. That shot came off the stick of number 19, Gavin Rosenstrom. As this faceoff will come to Hackenberg's blocker side, as we are ready to take the draw. This draw is won by the Riverhawks and sent right up to Smith. Smith will go cross ice to Beattie. Beattie will put that in as McFadden will chase after it, but he can't get there, so the Bears will counter as this puck is out of the reach of Zach Jockers. So RNS now with it, and they'll put it back in with Fuicelli out to stop it. He'll play it to his defenseman, who goes to the wall and up to Jockers. Jockers just chipping this one out as McClement gets it to the far side, and here comes Beattie with it. Beattie will push it all the way around to the weekend, but that's sent back in deep as Beattie dumps his man to the ice, and we'll have our first penalty of the game. This will be Beattie heading to the box for interference, or for boarding, rather. BCS player still down on the ice, but slowly getting back to his feet, which is good to see. That's number 77, Masanori Black, who's a little shaken up. But like I said, skating off with the help of the athletic trainer, but on his own 2 feet. So the Bears will get their first power play of the game. This is the Bears' first appearance at the Pat Burns Arena this weekend, as their previous 2 games were played at home at the Molson Arena in Lennoxville. So Rothesay out to take the faceoff for the Bears. He'll scramble draw, and that will be possessed by the Bears as Ostrich goes to Jockers. Back up to Ostrich. Ostrich now to the half wall as he'll move that puck up to Rothesay and get back to his spot. Rothesay down to goal line. Back to Rothesay on the flank. Back up to Ostrich. Ostrich now shooting. Ooh, off the glove of Hackenberg, and then maybe off the crossbar, then over the net. On that shot by Ostrich as he'll get the puck back now at the blue line. He'll give it over to Rothesay down to goal line. That's off the stick of his teammate in white as Jockers gets it on the other side now. Jockers battling with it. Kept in by Ostrich. Over to Rothesay. Rothesay's shot. He misses high to the blocker side as Spurrell now able to clear for the Riverhawks. Ostrich now to start the breakout. As he moves the puck up ahead. That's stood up at the line by Pelche, and Pelche will flip it to Moores, who's in one-on-one. Here comes Moores with it. Moores will then wisely try to bring this out and back as Elvis Pereira gets it back to the defense, McClement, and Pelche will send it the length of the ice. Elvis Pereira chasing hard on Boisclair, but Boisclair will slip away and send it rink wide, but picked off by McClement, and he, a little over anxious, will skate in offside. So this face-off will come back in front of the Bears bench. As there are now 35 seconds left in the penalty to Beatty. McFadden lining up for RNS to take the draw. He will lose that draw, and Boisclair will have it for BCS. Boisclair will rim it around, but Hackenberg out to play it. Hackenberg then just rimming it up the wall. And chipped by McFadden as Spurrell has it down the wing. Spurrell closed off nicely there. And Boisclair with it again. Boisclair up ahead. And they'll chip it into the BCS end as they circle the net. Out front. Over to the far flank. As penalty set to expire here, they'll get it through the seam. But just off his stick. As Boisclair with it now at the point. He'll stop up. Boisclair down the wall to Stassi. We are now even back to 5-on-5 as Stassi will cycle it back down below the goal line as they look in front, but no one home. Now here's Boisclair as he tries to put one on net. That'll go off a stick and out of play. So BCS unsuccessful on their first power play as Beatty returns to the bench. Good job there by the RNS penalty kill not to give up too much. Just the one shot off the glove of Hackenberg. Now, face-off one by the Riverhawks. They look to go far side, but that is turned over to BCS in the neutral zone as Ostrich moves it to Collingwood. Collingwood will get it up to the wall, but that forward pinched on, and now that puck sent the length of the ice for icing. So we'll do it all again to the right of goaltender Hackenberg, or to the left of Hackenberg. Remember, we are playing with hybrid icing. No change on icing, and then the offensive team can pick the side of the faceoff. So they elect to go to the other side here as this faceoff is scrambled and one to the wall, but chopped ahead by Gorman. And now onto the stick of McMullen, but good stick there by Ostrich to push that puck back. As Romanen will get that puck to the red line, but McMullen with it now. Here's McMullen driving wide. McMullen out front into the feet of his teammate and unable to get a good shot away. So Romanen will pinch down and push that puck into the far corner. As BCS will get that puck ahead and into the neutral zone. That's Bertrand trying to get it to his teammate, but poked ahead by Romanen. And now Collingwood putting that puck in deep and heading off for a change. Here's Hackenberg stopping it for Romanen. He'll get it around the boards, but that's by his player. And now Poulin flipping that one in as Jockers will go forecheck. Jockers forechecking, but Romanen able to get it past him as Boisclair has it now. Boisclair up, tipped in again. as the Bears give chase, but Romanen chips it back for Beatty, and he's taken down. So now both teams taking a penalty early in this opening frame, as we will have a head contact minor being called on Cole Toms. So RNS getting their first power play of the game. RNS pretty successful on the power play so far this weekend. Both games being played at the Pat Burns Arena, so very familiar with their setup and structure. And it's worked well for them so far, so let's see if they can continue that success in this elimination game, as that faceoff is won by BCS and rimmed around to the far side where Dunlap will keep it in. Dunlap waiting for help as Spurrell will win it back to Dunlap. Here's Pelche with it at the top. He'll send it over for Moores as he sends it across to Dunlap, but that hops over his stick as Dunlap will get it back to Pelche. Pelche over to Moores. Down to goal line for Spurrell. Spurrell, pressure now by Ostrich, but Moores comes in to help, and he'll give it over to Dunlap. Dunlap walking, Dunlap shooting. That's blocked and cleared. Well done there by the BCS penalty kill, as that was Labasta on the block. But here comes RNS off the breakout. This is Pelche with it as he comes in. He's met, and that puck will be turned over to Boisclair, and he'll send it down to Hackenberg. About halfway through this penalty to Toms, as Dunlap will pick the puck up behind the net and get going. Dunlap over the blue line. He'll kick it out to Alves Pereira, but he's harassed there. But he'll get that puck to Moores. Moores to net. That's tipped on goal, and a good save by Fuicelli. As that puck gets reset back up to Moores. Moores over to Alves Pereira. Alves Pereira through the seam, but that's cut off nicely there by T-Bay. And Boisclair to the line, and off Alves Pereira's stick and out. So here comes Pelche with it. He'll send it up the wall, but a bit of miscommunication there by the RNS power play as no one touched it. So that will go all the way back down for icing. So this faceoff will come back to the right of Hackenberg with 32 seconds remaining on the RNS power play, as this unit has now been out here for about a minute and a half, so they'll look to change up as this puck's won back and controlled by RNS. But like I said, they'll wait for reinforcements from the bench as this is Smith. Smith gets it to the wing, and that shot is saved by Fuicelli, but kept in at the blue line. But again, turned over as this is Poulin on the clear. As that will pretty much do it for the Riverhawks power play, as we'll get back to even strength here with just about 12 minutes remaining in the first period. This is McClement now with it. McClement up the wall, as this gets given to Gorman as he rims that puck in, but stopped by Fuicelli. He'll move that puck to Ostrich, who goes high off glass. Funny hop there as Ostrich will reclaim and send it back as he's pressured there by Smith. Ostrich again now. He'll get it to his partner Collingwood. And Collingwood will give it to Jockers. Jockers ahead here into the middle. And as that gets kicked out to Stassi. Stassi driving wide. Stassi, good footwork. And he'll just flip one over the top of the cage as that's played to the line by McFadden, kept in by Collingwood. He'll put it to net, but that is wide as Ostrich pinches down. Ostrich misses that one as that's turned over now as the player will walk in. Shot saved by Hackenberg. Rebound, scores! That's the defenseman Nate Ostrich in front of the net, as BCS will open the scoring here. That puck got turned over. That puck got turned over there by Cadiz to Dobbin in near the blue line, and Dobbin sent one on goal where Ostrich was able to clean that one up as BCS scores the all-important first goal here in semifinal one. So we'll line back up at center ice as BCS wins this one. And here's Labasta with it as that puck gets tipped into the RNS end, and Romanen back on it as he'll reverse it back for his partner as that will get to Cole on the wall. He's able to chip that one out. Here's Labasta back on it. He'll flip that one up. And now back to Romanen. Romanen is pushing that one in neutral zone, and that's pushed back to him. So he'll look for an open lane. That pass is cut up by Labasta. Sent to Lawless now. As Lawless will get it up for Robinson. Robinson was room to skate. He'll get it up to Cole. Cole will flip that in on Fuicelli, and he'll cover up for the whistle. Shots are 6-3 for the Riverhawks as we approach the midway point here. As Alvis Pereira and Robitaille will line up for their respective teams on this draw, and that faceoff is won by Robitaille, and that puck is sent off glass to the RNS defenseman Gorman. A turnover there to Toms, who will send that one in deep. As Jockers will chase Dunlap for that puck, as Dunlap cuts it up from behind the net. He tries to one-hand up the boards, but that's cut off. Alvis Pereira now able to chip that one out to where the defenseman Boisclair will pick it up. He'll send it off the wall to Robitaille. That gets shipped ahead to Toms, but still in the neutral zone as Toms now has it. Toms bringing it back into his zone. Toms will give it to Boisclair as Boisclair gets up ice. Boisclair ahead to Robitaille. Robitaille driving for Jockers, but that's ahead of him as that gets shipped back into the neutral zone by Spurrell. Here's Poulin with it as he'll stop behind his own goal. Poulin over to Boisclair. Boisclair up the wall to Toms. Here comes Toms with it. Toms will drop it to Robitaille. Robitaille, putting one on goal. That's tipped. And good save there by Hackenberg to react to that change in direction. As now RNS has it. As Spurrell will chip it ahead, but that's turned over. And now sent in by Spurrell as big collision there between him and Collingwood in the neutral zone as Ostrich, the goal scorer with the puck behind the net, he kicks it to the wing. And now BCS away as they go through the middle. And now they might have a 2-on-1 here. Shot blocked there by Peltier. Good block there as now RNS maybe can come the other way as he sends it ahead for Beatty, but Collingwood back for it. And that's chipped ahead, but turned over to Peltier. Peltier 3-on-2 as that puck is knocked off Beatty's stick by a good back check and now sent to the front of the net by Peltier. That misses everyone. And now BCS coming away with numbers here. This is Vladar sending one off the boards. And almost into Hackenberg's feet, but that gets through and out of danger as this is flipped into the neutral zone and settled down by Black. Good to see him back in the game as this is ahead and shot on goal. Stay by Hackenberg. He'll like to play this as there's no pressure there by the Bears, but this is turned over on the wall to Robitaille. Here's Dobbin in the slot. Dobbin, shot. That hits the outside of the post as BCS putting some good pressure on now as that puck back to Black at the point. This is given to Dobbin. Dobbin to Robitaille. Shot, saved by Hackenberg. Rebound in front. And now Smith with it. Smith will flip it high and trying to relieve some pressure as Black retrieves, sends it up to Robitaille. Here's Robitaille down the wing. He'll drop to Dobbin. Dobbin up to Black. Black will float one to the net. That goes wide. McClement will rim it around, but kept in by Labasta. Labasta trying to push it ahead. And that's out. But Labasta staying on it. He turns. 2-on-1 here. He'll move it across, but just off the stick of Stassi. And now Arna's pushing that puck all the way back in the BCS zone and getting a key change as the Bears look for more. That puck is flipped in by Fuicelli as Roman will be back first for it. The Riverhawks as he gives it to his partner Lawless. Lawless up to Robinson. He moves it to the far side for Cadiz. Cadiz working on Boisclair and Fuicelli out to poke it. And that poke went back off of Cadiz and just missed the net. But Cadiz goes up to Lawless. Down to Cadiz. Over to Romanen. Romanen shot. That goes wide. And now Fuicelli able to pounce on that one for a whistle. Shots now even at 7 apiece with 7:19 left in this first period. Of note, that is the first goal surrendered by Marty Hackenberg so far this weekend. He has participated in every game for the Riverhawks. Granted, one game he came in for a brief relief while his goalie partner was resetting. First goal against. As that puck gets to net and a couple good saves there by Fuicelli. As RNS keeps the pressure on here. Here's Lawless at the point with it. Lawless that lane closed, so he'll send it behind the net for Spurrell as he was battling, but that sent back up to Lawless. Lawless walking. He'll send that to Spurrell on the half wall. Spurrell put to net. Ooh, that gets tipped by Moores. And a good save there by Fuocelli as Moores will send that to the wall. And that is brought out by the other Fuocelli as that's moved up to Alves Pereira. Here comes Alves Pereira with it. He dances in. Nice move by Alves Pereira and shot scores! Alves Pereira showing off the silky mitts as he goes through the BCS defender and pops the bottle of Fuocelli as we are all tied up here. Great individual effort there by Killian Alves Pereira. This RNS team all weekend has been extremely feisty and constantly battling back and being resilient after allowing a goal, so no surprise that they're able to tie this one up as we get back to it. Here's Dunlap with it behind the net. He'll stop up. Dunlap up to Beatty. He'll tip that in, and he'll beat it out to prevent the icing. As Smith now with it. McFadden at the line. He tries to put that one deep and unable to, but here come the Bears. Here's Toms ahead. Toms will turn that over, and here comes River Oaks. McFadden chips it ahead, looking for Beatty, but disrupted by Collingwood. And then now Dunlap sending it in where Fuocelli will stop it behind the net. He'll play it up to Collingwood. Collingwood will send it back to Ostrich, who pushes it back to his partner, and now up to Toms, who tips it into the neutral zone. Here's Bertrand with it for the Bears. Bertrand driving wide. Bertrand putting one on net, but shouldered away by Hackenberg, and here comes Smith with it now. Smith dropping it to Beatty, but that gets turned over at the Bears' blue line, but here Dunlap back with it. He'll move it up to Smith. Smith delaying, but cut off by Black, and he'll push it ahead for Bertrand. Race for it with Peltier. Peltier there first, and he'll clear the zone as Black wisely chips it ahead, but Peltier again ahead. Oh, and that play was looking for Peltier as he was flying through the middle, but unable to get it there as Labasta with it now for the Bears. Labasta ahead, but that's turned over to McMullen, and he's ahead. McMullen working on Black. He's going to drive wide, but good stick there by Black to knock to the corner as that puck is still on the wall as Cole will fight for it. Labasta taking down by Cole, but we play on as Cole still working on Labasta. He knocks him to the ground. And again, no call as this puck gets ahead and flipped in to Hackenberg behind the net. Hackenberg will turn that over, but Peltier back to it. Peltier, that goes off his stick, and now BCS with control as this is Dobbin pushing it ahead, but Cadiz back to it first as Cole gets lined up and sent to the ice. That puck's kept in by Jockers, who will flip it towards the net. And now Peltier hard off the glass into the neutral zone. Now get by him. Here comes McMullen one-on-one. McMullen shooting. That misses just low to the glove side of Fuocelli as Stassi will put that in to the RNS zone. Here's Romanen back for it. He'll put it up glass. But that is kept in by Boisclair. Now by him. Here's RNS with some numbers as Romanen will give it to Alves Pereira. They'll get some Moores. And unable to get a shot away as the Bears will come back with it. It's Dobbin leading the rush. Here's Dobbin now. He'll try and cut in. He'll stop up, give it to his teammate, but that centering pass is wide as some back and forth action here. Here's Spurrell with Moores. Moores to the net. That's sticked away there by Fuocelli. Spurrell putting that one in deep, but cut off by Boisclair. We'll get it to the wall and out. Lawless now back for it. He'll send it right up for Spurrell, and RNS trying to catch BCS on the change. That puck gets sent to goal line, put on net. And a good save there by Fuocelli, who hugged his post to prevent an opening for Dunlap. 3:19 left in the opening frame here. Shots now 13-8 for the Riverhawks as this faceoff will take place to the left of Fuocelli. This faceoff is won by Alves Pereira. Back to Gorman. Shot on goal. That's saved by Fuocelli. And Ostrich there to collect the rebound and put it ahead to Fuocelli. Fuccelli in. He'll try to go one-on-one. Big collision there as both players knocked to the ground, but it's RNS coming away with it as they come away 3-on-2. Here's Moores with it. He'll drop to Alvis Pereira. Alvis Pereira, rebound, scores! That's Burrell with the goal as Alvis Pereira put one off the far pad of Fuccelli, and a big rebound for the Conception Bay, Newfoundland native to deposit. And RNS will get their first lead of the hockey game as they make it 2-1 with 2:56 left to play here. Alvis Pereira with a very productive first period here as he now has a goal and an assist in this one. As this faceoff's won by the Riverhawks and sent back to McClement, who will send it up to Smith. Smith turning over to Robitaille as that gets chipped in by Jockers. Pelche back on it. He will turn and reverse it, and Smith will bring it back the other way now. Smith curling back. He's pressured by Jockers, but he's able to get it to McClement. McClement up to McFadden. McFadden will go cross ice for Pelche, who will put that in on Fuccelli as he sticks that to the corner, but it's Smith to it first. As he gets it to Pelche, that's sent on net, that's knocked down. Rebound, put on goal again, but wide as Smith will go low to high. Here's McClement at the line. He'll put that off the end boards, hoping to create some chaos out front, but now battled on in the corner as three players fall to the ice, and here's BCS with it away. He'll get it to Jockers. They'll flip it in deep as Robitaille chases. Hackenberg out to play it. Hackenberg, he'll sauce that one out of the zone, and RNS will change as this puck gets sent to the far side as they come in shot, rebound, and that's cleared by the Riverhawks. Away comes McFadden, and he'll chip that one by Boisclair into the BCS zone. That puck now behind the net for McFadden. He'll go up to Romanen at the point. Romanen over to Lawless. Lawless shot, doesn't get through. But back up to Lawless at the point as he'll look for the lane. He fans, but able to put that puck back in deep, where Cadiz will send it back up top to Lawless. Over to Romanen. Romanen shot, rebound. Ooh, and that is unable to find it there. That's actually off the hand of, I believe that's Robinson in front of the net as he was falling. So this will go for a hand pass as we near the final minute of this first period. Shots now 18-9 for the Riverhawks. So busy period here for goaltender Tyler Fuccelli, whose brother Brandon is the other name I am calling. As this puck is won by McFadden, back to Pelche. Pelche sends that one in deep. That's Fuccelli out to stop it. He'll give it to Ostrich, and who sends that up the ball to Toms. Toms will bump it back to Dobbin, but that's out of his reach, so RNS will keep possession. Here's Morris. Shot on goal. Rebound. Ooh, that was lying in the crease off the shot by Cadiz. But still kept in by RNS as Cadiz gives it to Moores. Moores now in the corner with it as he's pressured by Ostrich. Ostrich up the wall to Toms. Toms poke off his stick by Pelche, but here comes Stassi down the wall. Stassi will go to the right. He'll try to wrap it around, but able to get the angle as that puck just skips over the stick of Ostrich and back into the neutral zone. Ostrich ahead. That misses everyone, but beaten out by Stassi, so no icing. Hackenberg will put it to the wall for Spurrell, but that's turned over. And here's Stassi with a chance. Stassi will go out front to Toms, but that's broken up. Here's ECS still with it as they look to mount one final attack here, but that's turned over to Moores, who will get it ahead and over to Dunlap as we have only 10 seconds remaining here in the first period. That puck gets over towards the net, but knocked away as Collingwood is hit high there by McFadden, or by Alvis Pereira, excuse me, as the first period will wind down. And we'll finish with RNS having 2 goals and Bishop's College School with the 1 goal. Shots on goal 19-9 for the Riverhawks. As we get to the intermission, bit of extracurriculars here to finish the frame, but we'll be right back after the flood. And we're back for period 2 here between BCS and RNS. As both teams just about set to take the opening draw. It will be Alves, Pereira, and Dobbin meeting at the center ice dot, and that faceoff's won by Alves Pereira as that gets worked back to his teammates. As Lawless now with it. He'll move it up to boards, to Moores, with that puck in his feet. And Lawless again to Moores, who will push it far side for Spurrell. Spurrell putting that puck in, but Fuicelli stopping it. Fuicelli bringing it up the wall there to Stassi, who will give it to Dobbin in the middle as he attacks over the Riverhawks blue line, but that's turned over. Now Spurrell within the neutral zone. Spurrell will put that in deep as we have a delayed offside here. But RNS touching up, and this faceoff will come all the way back into the RNS zone to the left of goaltender Marty Hackenberg. As this will be Robitaille out to take the faceoff for the Bears. Both teams getting fresh legs out there as we're set to drop the puck here, and that's won by McFadden. Back to Lawless. We'll put it around the boards for Beatty. Beatty will try and chip that one ahead, but cut off there. As this puck's turned over in the middle, and now broken up by Lawless. As this puck is kept in by Black, as he pushes it to Legault, who will get it to the corner. As that puck goes in front, but cut off there by Dunlap. Dunlap ahead to Smith. Smith will put that one deep, but Black chipping it into the netting for a whistle. And this faceoff will come inside the Bears' end to the right of goaltender Fuicelli. Robitaille and McFadden to take the draw. That faceoff's won by McFadden. Back to Smith. Smith over to Pelche, who will put one on goal, but that is gloved by Fuicelli, who saw that one in all the way. And now we'll switch sides for the next faceoff. See if McFadden can replicate his success here. As he'll lose this one to Robitaille, and now BCS will send it up ahead to Jockers. Jockers will put that in the far corner for Legault. Legault chopping it, but it's Pelche putting it up the wall. And now here comes Smith. Smith on a breakaway. Smith in, shot, blocker saved by Fuicelli. Smith still within the corner. He'll send that puck up to McClement. McClement over to Pelche. Pelche looking for a stick on the far side, and that is disrupted. As here comes BCS with it now as they get it to Legault, who will tip it in. It's Cadiz on it back for RNS as he'll send that one ahead. That goes through the stick, but Cole too far ahead, so that is a delayed offside as now Boisclair with it for the Bears. Boisclair going through the neutral zone. He'll get it up to Toms, who drops it back for Boisclair, but that gets out of the zone. Boisclair to the other side now, and that's put in by Bertrand. But now here's Dunlap with it. Dunlap to McMullen, who will get it across to Cole, but that's not in. As that is off the stick of McClement, now a race for it. Here's Bertrand, back to Toms, but that's off his stick, and here's McMullen away. McMullen to Cole, that's turned over, and here comes Bertrand. Bertrand shot right into the chest of Hackenberg for the whistle. Tough turnover there by the Riverhawks, giving the Bears a potentially dangerous 2-on-1 opportunity, but Bertrand electing to shoot, and Hackenberg with a big stop. Dobbin now looking to keep the pressure on as he lines up for the draw for the Bears. He'll win that back to Collingwood. Collingwood putting that one off the end boards as that will sit on the back of the net and knocked off there by the Bears. So they'll maintain possession as Stassi will go to Ostrich at the point. Ostrich putting one through. That's blocked. Puck loose in the slot as a player is taken down. And we'll have an interference call on Alves Pereira. So BCS will head back to the power play for their second opportunity of the game. As Coach Brody DuPont will have Ostrich, Jockers, Robitaille, Vladar, and Toms out there, as that faceoff's won by the Riverhawks. And Dunlap will clear it all the way down the ice, as Fuicelli will move it up to Ostrich. Ostrich up to Robitaille. Robitaille ahead. That is poked ahead by Toms. And now Robitaille with it on the flank as he gives it up to Ostrich. Back to Robitaille. Robitaille down to this bumper to Vladar. Vladar shooting. And he misses to the high glove side as Ostrich will keep this puck in. Ostrich down to goal line to Toms. Toms trying to go back door. And that just hops over the stick of Robitaille. And that'll go out of play, as the next unit will come over the bench for the Bears. And some fresh killers on the ice for Jeff Lewis's squad, as this faceoff will come to the right of Hackenberg, as Robitaille low to win this one. Won by Robitaille as BCS looks to set up. It's Boisclair walking to the middle of it. And we'll have a penalty called here on the Bears, as this will be Labasta for interference. He sent the penalty killer's stick flying in the air, and a good call there by the official, as we'll head to 4-on-4 hockey here for the next minute 16. A lot of ice out there for both teams, so we'll see if this could be a good opportunity to generate some good scoring chances. Dobbin and Moore is out to take the draw. That's won by Dobbin, as Boisclair has it now. Boisclair skating ahead. He'll turn back. Boisclair moving it up to Dobbin. Dobbin off the skate of Moores, and they'll go all the way back to Peltier, who will send it to Dunlap, as he's pressured there by Stassi. But Dunlap still with it. Still pressured by Stassi. That's turned over to Dobbin's shot on Hackenberg, and a good save by the goaltender, as now this is flipped out of the Riverhawks end. Back to Poulin. Poulin up to Dobbin. Dobbin will retreat all the way behind the Bears net. And he steps out now. Here comes Dobbin. Dobbin back to Boisclair. Boisclair coming in now, getting to his forehand, looking to shoot, but he's taken down. And now here come the Riverhawks. Here's Moores over to Spurrell. He'll stop up. Looking for Moores heading towards the net, but that's broken up by Poulin. Poulin now ahead to Boisclair. Boisclair trying to rip it back, but that is deflected. And now Poulin, the last man back for the Bears, as the penalty to Alvis Pereira set to expire in 3, 2, and 1. So now the Riverhawks will have the on-the-man advantage, as Smith will get it. Looking for Alvis Pereira for the breakaway. But nice play by Ostrich to break that up as Alvis Pereira comes in. Wrap around, and that is stopped by Fuicelli. 34 seconds left in the minor penalty to Labasta, as we near the 5-minute mark played of the second period. Cadiz on the draw for the Riverhawks. Cadiz pushing that one to the wall, but it'll be Ostrich with the puck first, as battle ensues there, but a puck eventually cleared by BCS. That's Sebastian on the clear, as he'll get that down the ice. Here's Peltier with it behind the net. That may be one final rush for the Riverhawks power play, as here comes Peltier through center. Peltier coming in 1-on-3. He's met there by Collingwood, and that puck will go into the corner. Here's Cadiz with it, as he's stripped of it by Bertrand, and now go back into the neutral zone. And that will do it for the RNS power play, as Labasta comes back onto the ice, as McMullen dancing in, but that's poked away nicely by Ostrich. Collingwood looking for the big pin, but right out of the corner. Here's Smith trying to tuck it, and that is sealed off and covered by Fuicelli. Face-off coming back to his left. as both teams will get some fresh legs out there. As this will be McFadden and Bertrand on the draw. This faceoff's won by McFadden. Back to Romanen. Romanen will get it to the wall and pushed ahead. Back to McFadden. We'll give it to Robinson as he tries to keep it on the boards. McFadden with it. On the wall. McFadden pinning it in his feet. Bears working hard to get that puck back as that's pushed up the wall to Robinson. He'll get it up to Romanen. Back to Robinson in high ice. He'll put one on goal, and that's gloved by Fuicelli. Robinson looking for McFadden's stick there as he was crashing the net, but that sailed all the way in on Fuicelli as we will have another faceoff to his left. Robitaille now in to take the draw for the Bears. Faceoff won there by Robitaille as that's rimmed around by Poulin to Jockers. Robinson with it now as he'll send that in, and Fuicelli out to play it. Fuicelli flipping it to Poulin. Poulin ahead. And that's turned over in the neutral zone to Alves Pereira. Alves Pereira will now put it back in where Fuicelli active, playing the puck today. He'll come out and stop it as that's sent to Poulin. Poulin not able to get that puck out as that's kept in by Moores, but now Jocker's able to get it out. It's big hit on the end boards by Alves Pereira, knocking his man to the ice, and now dumped in once more. Here's Fuicelli. He'll turn it over to Spurrell. Spurrell now sending one to goal, but that's cut off, and a penalty call upcoming as this will be Maverick Legault heading off for the cross check. So RNS will get their third power play opportunity of the game, granted their last one being abbreviated. So Coach Lewis will send out Spurrell, Alves, Pereira, Moores, Pelche, and Dunlap for this big face-off. As this puck is scrambled off the draw and eventually won by Spurrell. Back to Pelche at the point. Pelche over to Dunlap as they look to set up. Pelche to Moores. Down to Spurrell. Spurrell stepping out. Up to Pelche. Pelche switching with Dunlap as Pelche still has it. Pelche looking to the bumper. Rebound, scores! Pelche found Alves Pereira in the bumper, who tipped it on goal, and then it was Spurrell putting that one home as RNS power play strikes, and it is now 3-1 Riverhawks. Nice patience there by Peltier to hang on to the puck and dance around before finding the open player in the bumper to create that opportunity. As they only need 24 seconds to put that one in. As we get back underway. BCS looking to answer. As Black now with it in his own zone. As they look to get that puck out, but that's kept in by the Riverhawks. As that's bumped to the slot, but kept in by Smith, who sends it back to Dunlap. Find that up to Fuicelli. Over to Labasta. That's to the wall and kept in by Smith, but now knocked off his stick. And now here comes Dobbin with it. Dobbin. Over to Stassi. Stassi, that's knocked his stick, but Dobbin still with it. He'll put one to goal, and that's patted away by Hackenberg. Puck to the wall for McMullen. But that's kept in on the wall by Dobbin. Dobbin looking it away, but it's Dunlap now, and here come the Riverhawks through round two. Dunlap over to Cole on the wall to net. That's knocked away by Labasta as he will give that puck up and ahead now to Sebastian. Here's Sebastian with it. He cuts in, but he's knocked down on a nice play there by McClement. Here's Dunlap with it. He'll rim it around as RNS changes. Here's Fuicelli with it. He'll flip it ahead into the feet, but that's out of the reach of Rosenstrom as that's flipped ahead for Beatty, and that's offside. 11:30 left here in this second period. Shots now 25-13 for the Riverhawks. As Rosenstrom and McFadden line up for this draw. That draw is won by McFadden, but BCS controlling as Fuicelli will get it up to Rosenstrom. Rosenstrom in, cutting the middle shot, saved by Hackenberg. As we have some pushing and shoving in front of the RNS net. But another nice save there by Hackenberg, staying at the top of his crease. And this faceoff will come to his left. As Rosenstrom lines up to take the faceoff. That draw is one to Peltier as he flips it off the netting. And we will redo. Rosenstrom on the draw once again. He will win that one, but that goes through the legs of Fuicelli, who is in the shooter position. And here comes Boisclair with it. Boisclair up ahead as that gets tipped into the RNS zone. And Jockers will chase. That beats him around the boards, but kept in there by Poulin. Poulin gets it to Jockers, who tries to put it deep, but that's cut off by McClement. McClement over to Peltier, who will zing it through the middle to McFadden. McFadden over to Beatty. Beatty on net, that goes wide. As Legault will chop it ahead, and now race for it, but that's one. And put back into the BCS end as Fuicelli out to play it. Here's Boisclair. Boisclair stepping out to his forehand, but he'll curl back. Boisclair, he'll curl back again and send it over to Poulin. Poulin gets it by his man, and Jockers will move it ahead to Robitaille. Robitaille working in on Lawless, but Lawless stands his up, and now here's Moores away with it. Here's Moores. He'll drive wide. Moores still driving wide. He puts one in front. Oh, and what a glove save by Fuicelli. As Moores beat his man down the wing, sent it to Spurrell in the slot, and Fuicelli with the windmill glove save. His best stop of the evening. And a big save to keep this a two-goal hockey game. So Alvis Pereira out to take the draw here for RNS as Moores is lined up in the shooter spot. Alvis Pereira will lose this draw to Dobbin as he looks to get away. Dobbin will flip it down the ice, but it is Stassi there first, so no icing. Stassi now out of the corner. He'll kick it up to Collingwood, who will push it back down to Stassi. Here's Stassi. He'll put one on it from a bad angle. That hops back in front. Rebound. Loose. And now finally sat on by the RNS defender or Hackenberg. And it looks like we will have a penalty out of the net front commotion as a BCS player was knocked to the ice. This will be Lawless heading to the box for roughing. So a big opportunity here for the Bears to get back in this one. I think the referee's discussing, but trying to set the tone here for their tolerance to nonsense. As the Bears will go back to their power play, their third of the game. As this puck is won, and Labasta playing it up to Boisclair. Boisclair at the point. He'll play it to Dobbin. Dobbin back to Boisclair. Boisclair moving. He comes down to the goal line now. Boisclair now looking for a stick out front. He'll give it up to Stassi. Stassi back to Boisclair. He'll wind up. No shot. Boisclair, Dobbin switching. Here's Dobbin. Getting to the middle, over, shot wide by Stassi. As Boisclair now with it at the point. Walking the blue line, Boisclair still with it. Over to Dobbin. Dobbin back to Boisclair. To the bumper to Labasta. He'll pull into the backhand, and that goes wide past the glove side of Hackenberg, and this puck will be sent down the ice by the RNS penalty kill. As Boisclair will skate ahead with it now. He'll feed it up to Rothesay. Rothesay dropping it to Toms. Toms now circling. He'll give it to Rothesay up to Ostrich. Ostrich to Rothesay. Back to Ostrich. They'll exchange as Rothesay gives it to Ostrich. One-timer saved by Hackenberg. Rebound. Lying and covered now by the goaltender. That one-timer from Ostrich catching the goaltender up high and a rebound created, but good awareness by him to track it out and cover up. As 40 seconds remains in the minor penalty to Lawless. Jockers now on the draw for the Bears. He'll win that back to Ostrich. Ostrich now evaluating over to Rothesay. Down to down to Jockers. Now Ostrich with it. Ostrich to Jockers, open net, and he looks skyward as that pass found the seam to Jockers at the side of the goal, and he one-timed that one above the net. He'll be kicking himself for that one as we'll reset to the right of Hackenberg as Rothesay takes the draw. Rothesay, fancy foot hand-eye there as he knocked that one all the way back, but Ostrich off his stick into the neutral zone. Now Rothesay with it. He'll look to enter for one last chance. He'll drop it to Jockers. Over to Ostrich. Ostrich shooting. Saved by Hackenberg. Rebound again to Jockers, and that rolls off his stick back to the goaltender Hackenberg for a whistle. 9 seconds left now in the penalty to Lawless. And 7:59 left in this middle frame. Shots now 27-16 for the Riverhawks. As Legault will be out there to take the draw. Legault loses that one as Dunlap will rim that to the blue line and pushes back Black out of the zone. As we are now back to 5-on-5 hockey as Hackenberg stops the puck behind the net for Dunlap. Dunlap will flip that one to the middle for Smith, and that gets kicked back to McClement. Now back up to Smith, and that's knocked away by Poulin, but sent all the way down the ice. No icing. Hackenberg out to rim it to Smith. Smith will chip it into the neutral zone for Cadiz, but that's broken up by Poulin. Now back into the Bears end is Poulin with the puck behind the net. He'll rim it around to Sebastian. Sebastian looking to touch it, but kept in by McFadden. Here's Black with it now. He'll give it to Poulin, who gets it up the wall, to Legault, who gets it ahead to Fuccelli, and he'll put that one in where Dunlap will seize it. Here's Dunlap. He'll flip that one to the line, pushing Black out again. Black on his forehand, up the wall to Stassi. Stassi trying to get in, but held up at the line as now Dobbin enters with it. Dobbin over to Toms, back to Dobbin. Dobbin back to Toms, and he tries to put that one out front again, and we'll have another penalty upcoming against the Riverhawks. This is Gavin Smith heading to the box. 2 minutes for the slash. So the Bears back to the power play here with 6:47 remaining in the second period. RNS up by 2, but letting the Bears hang around by taking some penalties here. So this will be the Bears' fourth opportunity here on the power play, as that's won by the Bears and controlled by Labasta. Labasta down the goal line. Now back up top to Dobbin. Dobbin over to Boisclair. Boisclair down to goal line to Stassi. Stassi pressured now by Lawless, but he'll move it back up to Boisclair. Boisclair now over to Dobbin. Dobbin through the seam to Stassi. That's settled. Now back over to Dobbin. That hops off his stick. Now Dobbin dancing in. Here's up to Boisclair. Shot. Oh, and that's blocked off the hand. Oh, and a tough whistle. That's a tough whistle there as Beatty soaked that one off his hand and fell to the ice. Interesting that was blown down as BCS had full possession of the puck, and we're looking to counter. So I know Coach Brody Dupont not too thrilled with that one. Talking to the referee about that decision. But that faceoff will stay in the BCS end. Beatty getting checked out here by the athletic training staff. But BCS still a minute 26 left on their man advantage. As that straw is won by Rosenstrom, but sent to the line and out, getting that puck getting past Walkler. But here's Dobbin with it on the entry. Dobbin down the wing. He'll cut that back to Stassi. Stassi up to Walkler. Walkler now walking the blue line. Walkler over to Dobbin. Down to Stassi. Oh, big save by Hackenberg. That puck not cleared, though. Kept in by Dobbin. Dobbin shooting. That's blocked by Peltier. That's puck's up to Labast on the half wall. He'll give it back to Boisclair. Boisclair walking. Getting to his forehand. Up to Dobbin. Dobbin dragging. Shooting. That goes wide. Boisclair at the side of the net. As that is held up. And BCS still with it. That goes up to Jockers. Jockers to Dobbin. To Stassi, but that's out of his reach as Stassi will send it back up to Boisclair. Boisclair over to Dobbin. Dobbin, Boisclair. Boisclair, Stassi. Stassi. That's blocked. Up to Boisclair. Off a stick. Put down by Dobbin. And that's off his stick, but Cadiz electing to change. As we have 10 seconds left in this penalty to Gavin Smith as he'll look to return as Boisclair pushes the puck up for one last rush. That's kept out of the RNS end, so we'll be back to 5-on-5 here. Big save by Hackenberg on that opportunity to keep this a two-goal game. As this puck is moved to the middle for Vladar, but that's turned over to Lawless, who will flip it into the middle to Collingwood. As that's moved ahead to Jockers, and that play will go for offside. Tom's not able to tag up in time. 4:28 here in the second period. Some wonderful Atlantic Canadian music being pumped through the Pat Burns Arena speakers with many Maritimers on the ice for each of the two teams. Bertrand set to take the draw for the Bears. Puck won by Alves Pereira as he gets that puck back to Roman, and as that's flipped ahead, as here comes Moores with it, he gets stripped by Ostrich and sent to the end wall. As now that puck is sent to Collingwood behind the net. Collingwood up to Legault, but that gets past him as Dunlap flips that one back in to Ostrich. Ostrich up ahead to Legault. Legault chipping that one ahead for Bertrand, but Hackenberg out to play that puck. He'll put that one on his backhand up the wall, but Legault there first. Legault to Bertrand. Up to Black. Black will send it far corner for Legault. Legault back up to Labasta. Labasta putting one on net, but that's blocked by Moores. So that puck coming out, and Labasta to collect. He'll send it over to Black. That's a little ahead of him. But sent back to Labasta. Labasta to Vladar. Vladar will try to cut middle, but turn over to Alves Pereira. Here comes Alves Pereira with it. He's 1-on-2. He'll put one on net, and that's patted away by Fuicelli as he'll send that one around to Smith. Smith up to Dunlap. Dunlap over to Romanen. Romanen on net. Pad save by Fuicelli. As Sebastian will chip it ahead as he gets bumped down to the ice. No icing as Romanen will send that around to Smith. Smith, that puck will get turned over to Somers. And that puck's put on net by the Bears, but good save there by Hackenberg. As puck kept in at the blue line by Labasta. Black putting one on goal. That's patted away by Hackenberg as that puck tries to get banked in off the goaltender by Rosenstrom, but unable to do so as that puck gets flipped out. And now a race for it as Smith and Labasta race for it, but puck's won by Labasta as Smith with it. Smith curling to the corner. Smith working. That puck gets worked ahead to Toms. We'll give it to Dobbin, and here comes Dobbin with it off the rush. Dobbin in. He'll send it back to Toms. Toms looking for that extra pass, but that's broken up and now sent to Poulin. Poulin at the blue line, dangerous play there. But that pass is sent ahead to McMullen, and that will go all the way down for icing. So a tired RNS group out there for Jeff Lewis as 2:15 remaining in this second period. Shots now 29-19 for the team in white. As the Bears look to take advantage of a tired Riverhawks group, as Coach Brody Dupont will send his top guys out there. Here's Dobbin on the draw. Dobbin back to Collingwood. Collingwood will send that down, but that's picked off by Pelche. He'll get ahead with it. Pelche over to Smith. Smith on goal. That's sticked away by Fuicelli. As that puck is now transitioned by Dobbin. Here he comes. Dobbin. Shot. Blocker save. Rebound. As that gets knocked away. As Smith will get that one to the line, but kept in by Ostrich. Ostrich to net, but that's blocked by Robinson. As McMullen with a step on Ostrich. McMullen from a bad angle, but saved there by Fuicelli as Ostrich will chip that one ahead to Toms. Toms across center ice. He'll chip that puck in, but muscled off by McClellan as Lawless pushes it to the boards, but that's turned over to Ostrich. Ostrich down the wall now. Ostrich around the goal, trying to find an empty stick, but he sickles that back for Legault. That's kept in, but now here comes Cole, one-on-one against Collingwood. Cole on net. That's padded away by Fuicelli as McFadden tries to put that one in the goal, but now he'll put that one in deep, but now up by Robitaille as now Collingwood with it. Collingwood over, saved by Hackenberg. As that puck is up in the air, but missed by Robitaille. That put out front by Legault. That's missed. BCS putting some more pressure in on here as Labasta back for it as we enter the last minute of play here. As that puck's turned over to Cole. Labasta to the line and out as Jockers with it now. Jockers across the blue line. He'll send one to net, but that is ahead of Bertrand. As now this puck is flipped high into the Pat Burns Arena rafters. And we will get a stoppage. Marty Hackenberg doing a phenomenal job here in this second period to thwart the Bears' attack with another big save on that last rush. As this faceoff will come to the left of the goaltender. 33 seconds left here in the middle frame. That faceoff is won by Alvis Pereira and sent around and all the way back into the Bears' end where Poulin will find it. Poulin harassed there by Spurrell, but he's able to get that puck to Boisclair, who will send it up the wall and out as Pelche flips it back to the blue line. He's puck bouncing around the blue line, but now sent back in as Boisclair has 10 seconds left on the clock, and Poulin will send it ahead. And off the stick of Stassi and to Dunlap, and that will do it for a second period action here as some shenanigans to finish the period. Both coaches advising their guys to stay out of the box. But that will be all. Nice moment there as the goaltenders touch gloves to acknowledge each other's performance. We have final score end of the second period, 3-1 Riverhawks. Shots 31-21 in favor of the team from Rothesay, New Brunswick, as we will take a break here. And we're back for third period action here between BCS and RNS. Should be a very good final stanza here as BCS chasing down a 2-goal lead. We will have Alves, Pereira, and Dobbin set to take a draw here as that draw is 1 to the Bears as Stassi with it. Stassi coming in, making one move, but then getting poked off his stick by Lawless as there's a puck is in the corner and move to Poulin at the point. Poulin to Boisclair, shot, shoulder save there by Hackenberg. Spurrell now with it. He'll flip it to the line, but kept in by Boisclair. Boisclair to Dobbin. Dobbin down for Jockers. Jockers out in front, but that will be sent away by Stassi as that gets to the point for Boisclair. Boisclair to net. That's knocked away by Alves Pereira, but kept in by Stassi. Stassi trying to flip it to the middle, but that's cut off. And now Dunlap with it for the Riverhawks. Dunlap ahead to Alves Pereira. That's turned over to Rosenstrom, but he'll give it right to Moores. Moores in to Alves Pereira, and that is cut off by Boisclair as he sends it ahead to Toms. Toms dragging 2-on-1. Here comes Toms. Shot. That's saved by Hackenberg. Rebound. Wrapped around. And that is stopped by the goaltender Hackenberg. As now Spurrell will flip it out and down the ice. Good sequence there by the RNS goaltender as that will go for icing. So Alves Pereira and Morris having to return to the ice on the icing call. So they'll look to survive this defensive zone shift. As Rosenstrom and the dot to take the draw. Rosenstrom will win that back to Collingwood. Collingwood off the boards behind the net as Toms chases after it. Toms knocking his man off the puck as that's sent to the slot but broken up by Spurrell as Pelche will flip it out and down into the Bears' end where Ostrich will be back first for it. Ostrich now coming out. He'll move it up to Vladar. Vladar cross ice to Toms. Here comes Toms. Shot off the stick of Romanen and out of play. So this face-off will come back inside the Riverhawks zone to the right of goaltender Hackenberg, who's been busy tonight. .22 saves on the evening for the goaltender from Grand Prairie, Alberta. Here's Robitaille on the draw. Robitaille will lose that draw as that puck is sent to Roman and up the wall to Smith. Smith looking to chip that one out and able to do so to McFadden. McFadden to Beattie, who will put that in the opposite corner. As McFadden chases it to Beattie out front, and that's covered up by Fuicelli for a faceoff. To his left, as Robitaille and McFadden being left out there by their coaches to take the draw. As this draw is won by McFadden to Smith, who will put it down low to Beattie. Beattie now closed off, pinned there by Labasta, and the Bears coming away with it. Here comes Legault, but that's turned over and sent down the ice. Race for it now, but Labasta back first, so that will be icing. And we will come back down into the RNS zone. So Robitaille still out there, so he will take this draw. He's out there with Jockers and Legault. And that draw is won by the Riverhawks, and they'll send this puck ahead to Smith. Smith able to get that one deep as that just misses the glove hand of Fuicelli. Puck now on the half wall, won by Smith. As now this is chopped out by Legault in a race for it. Smith and Legault, the two 18s battling for it. And that is sent to the wall where that's put on net and sticked away by Hackenberg as Beattie comes back with it for the Riverhawks. But that's turned over to Boisclair and now tipped ahead by Fuicelli as he'll put that one behind the RNS goal line as now Smith is able to skate away with it. That's poked off his stick by Sebastian, but he'll power through as this is Poulin with it. Poulin pestered there. McMullen in on the forecheck, and he'll throw that one to net, but that's knocked away by Bertrand, but kept in by the Riverhawks, sent to net. Ooh, and that just goes wide. As Bertrand flips this one into the middle, but that no one home as the Bears change, so Dunlap with it. Dunlap will skate, and he'll get it ahead to Robinson, but that puck is turned over to Collingwood, but Collingwood not able to find Ostrich, so McMullen will put it deep for Robinson, who looks to chop it out front, but that's blocked by Collingwood. As this puck now gets into the neutral zone, where Dobbin will chip it ahead for Stassi, who has a jump. Stassi cutting in, Stassi in front, that's poked ahead, rebound. Ooh, and Hackenberg looking behind him, but he's got it between his legs. As Stassi got a jump on Lawless there to cause that opportunity, but good save again by Marty Hackenberg. This will come to the right of the goaltender. Now they're deeming that this faceoff is going to come outside of the RNS blue line, I believe, because the D hopped in there. So Dobbin winning this one back to Collingwood, looking for Ostrich, but that's behind him, so Ostrich will have to turn back. And that is off the stick. That gets past every Bear, and that will go down for icing. So switching ends here, we'll have that face-off back in the BCS end, where Alves Pereira will take the offensive zone draw. Alves Pereira losing that one to Dobbin, and Collingwood rimming that around for Stassi. Stassi now moving it ahead for Robitaille. Robitaille coming down the wing. He'll cut back. Robitaille back up to Collingwood at the point. Collingwood putting it deep for Stassi. Stassi now knocked off the puck by McClement. And Alves Pereira getting into line to Robitaille, but that's sent to Stassi in the slide. That's blocked. And now cleared by Alves Pereira as he gets it to Spurrell. Spurrell will just flip it high to Ostrich. Ostrich now over to Collingwood, up to Robitaille, and now here comes Dobbin with it. Dobbin trying to look for Toms coming off the bench, but that's turned over to Spurrell. Spurrell now coming across the blue line, dropping it to Alves Pereira. Shot blocked by Labasta, and here come the Bears again as Labasta leads the rush. He'll chip that puck in and chase after it, but Lawless able to get that one by the BCS forecheck, and now McFadden to the line, but Smith picks that one off, and he'll come in with a head of speed. Here comes Smith. Smith shooting, and pad save by Fuicelli as Smith had a partial break there, but here come the Bears again. But that's turnover on the wall as Smith gets it again. Smith back to Beatty to the slot. No one home. Tom's with it. That's off his stick, and now kept in by the Riverhawks. Here's Smith around the top of the circle. He shoots. That misses just to the blocker side as Romanen will put that puck in deep and around where Toms will look to get it out, but that's kept in by Gorman. Now flipped high and into the RNS end as Romanen back for it. Romanen will stretch it out to Beatty. Beatty will then chip it in on Fuicelli, who will hang on for the faceoff with 14-14 remaining left in the third period. Shots now 35-25 for the Riverhawks. So this faceoff coming to the left of Fuicelli. It'll be Vladar and McFadden on the draw. McFadden winning it, but BCS jumping it, so that puck will come out of the zone, but now sent back in where Fuicelli will leave it for Boisclair. Boisclair now stepping out. Boisclair looking for Jockers to the middle. Here comes Jockers. Jockers dropping it over to Robitaille. He'll score! And folks, we will have a great finish to this one as Robitaille will one-time that one off the rush. Beautiful passing there by the Bears as Blockler able to send the stretch pass up to Jockers, who dropped it to Legault. And Legault finding Robitaille for the finish. So with 13:56 left in the third period, it is now a 3-2 game. As that faceoff is won back to Dunlap. Dunlap will get it to Lawless, who will flip it ahead to Cole. Here comes Cole looking for Cadiz, but that's turned over to Stassi. Stassi looking to get it ahead as Collingwood will now move it to Fuicelli. Fuicelli across the line. He'll try to slide one to the net, but that's broken up as Stassi falls down and allowing Dunlap to get an easy exit. Here comes Dunlap now as he'll drive wide. Dunlap now putting one on net. That's off the stick of Ostrich and over the top of the net. As collision on the half wall there. Puck in some feet, but won by Cole. Cole will try a shot. That's blocked. And now the Bears away 4-on-2. Here's Dobbin. Dobbin, cross ice to Stassi. Collingwood retreating and able to break that one up as Cadiz will put this in, and that will go for icing. So a tired 5 for the Riverhawks as Coach DuPont gets his troops to line up quickly to take quick advantage and prevent the Riverhawks from getting any rest. As it's the goal scorer Robitaille out there for the draw. Interesting formation here for the Bears as that faceoff's won by Dunlap as he will rim it off the glass, and now out, but that is put down by Cole, and that will be another icing call. So we will do this all again here. As Robitaille will line up to take the draw. Now Jocker's set to take it. Jocker's losing that draw to Cadiz, but he'll be first on it. He'll get it back up to Black, but that's turned over as McMullen comes away with it now. McMullen working 1-on-2, but that's turned over to Labasta. Labasta with it. Labasta up to Legault. Legault back to Labasta, who will dance in, and that will be offside. So this faceoff will come right in front of the Riverhawks bench. Now 12:31 remaining in the period as Rosenstrom and Alves Pereira set to take the draw. Face-off scrambled and pushed ahead by RNS, but right to Poulin. Poulin to Boisclair. That's turned over to Spurrell, who will send it into the Bears' end as Fuicelli out to play it. Fuicelli will give it to Boisclair. Boisclair, that's tipped, but this might go for icing against the Bears, but that's waved off. And now McClement crashing the boards, but Pelche will send this off the glass and into the RNS bench. Good catch there by Seth Lawless, as he was on the bench there to make a nice little snag. As Rosenstrom lines up for this one. Rosenstrom wins it to Vladar, but he fans on that shot as Poulin puts one in it. That is blocked by Moores, who laid out for that one. As Poulin will send it back up the wall. Into the middle for Rosenstrom, who will put that in deep. Pelche back for it first as he beats Vladar to it, and he'll send it to Smith. Smith flips this one high and down the ice, and a race for it now. But it'll be Boisclair back first as he pushes it back up the boards with Smith. First to it, he'll give it to Spurrell. Spurrell to net, and that is out of the reach of Alves Pereira and into the far corner. Now back up to Pelche. Pelche over to McClement. McClement to Pelche. Pelche now into the far corner where Spurrell will get it behind the net. Spurrell out for Alves Pereira. Shot saved by Fuicelli, and that rebound goes over top of the cage. Big save there by the Bears goaltender as that puck is slipped out to the neutral zone, and Pelche will look for McClement across ice. McClement now off a player and out of play. So this faceoff will come in front of the Bears bench now. as Bertrand will take this faceoff against McFadden. This faceoff is won by the Bears as it gets pushed back to Collingwood. Collingwood ahead as that gets tipped ahead by Sebastian. Race for it, and it will be Gorman there first for the Riverhawks. So this will be icing. See what side of the ice they elect to take this offensive zone draw on. This will be up to McFadden. He chooses to have this to the blocker side of Fuicelli. McFadden on the draw. He'll win it for it, but gets taken down as that gets rimmed around and out. Romanen will put it back in where Collingwood will grab it. Collingwood over to Labasta, who chips it ahead for Fuicelli. Fuicelli will put that one on net, but that's sticked away by Hackenberg as Bertrand will collect the rebound and look to put it to net, but that's picked off and now carried out by McFadden. He'll high flip it to the far side for Beatty, who will get it into the BCS end, but then put out by Bertrand. Romanen now will collect and give it to Robinson. Back to Beatty, who will dump that puck in. As Fuicelli out to stop it, miscommunication there. But it is Labasta able to collect. Labasta to Collingwood as he will set up the breakout. Collingwood to Dobbin. Here comes Dobbin. He'll come away with speed. That's knocked his stick by Dunlap and flipped through the rafters at the Pat Burns Arena. So play will carry on as Boisclair now sending it up ahead to Stassi as he tips that one in. Dunlap now with the puck behind the net. He'll give it to McMullen, and they'll get away with it. Here's McMullen with it. He'll chip it in past Boisclair, but Ostrich back first for it as he'll get it ahead to Toms. Toms back to Dobbin. Dobbin entering through the middle. Dobbin dropping for Stassi. Stassi shot. That's blocked. Stassi now up to Ostrich. Over to Boisclair. Over to Stassi. One-timer he fans on that one, but Toms still with it. Toms over to Boisclair. That just hops over his stick, so he'll put that in deep for Stassi. Stassi now in front, and that is just out as that sent rink wide to Dunlap. The defenseman jumping up. Dunlap, he'll stop up as that shift past him, and now BCS looking to get away. It's Robitaille now. Ooh, but big hit there by Alves Pereira to send him to the ice as Dunlap will send it to Spurrell. Spurrell, a shot off the post and unable to be put back home by Alves Pereira as that's chipped ahead. Good break there by the Riverhawks. Or bad break there for the Riverhawks as that can't find the back of the net to extend their insurance. That's put on goal and pad save by Fuicelli. Pelche putting that one in deep, but it's Labasta carrying the puck out for the Bears. Labasta turns that one over as that'll get sent to Pelche. Pelche looking for Smith, but they'll end up getting there. So Smith trying to make a play, but that's turned over to Vladar. But now McFadden getting it and putting that in. So Collingwood back with it. He'll look to get away. Collingwood setting it up the boards to Vladar. That gets out, but not making any offensive progress. So that gets moved up, but that's McClement with it now. He'll give it across to Romanen. He'll try to get it up and out and able to do so, but that as that puck is kept in the neutral zone. Here's McFadden now getting it to the wing to Smith. Smith just putting that one on goal, but that's wide. As Romanen will hold the line and put it in deep for the Riverhawks. Boisclair now out there, but Smith giving it all the way back to Romanen, who's out there with McClement as McClement gets it ahead. No icing is the call here as that seemed to be touched on the way there as Boisclair now with it. Boisclair now ahead. Boisclair pushing the play. Boisclair coming in, shot right into the glove of Hackenberg for the whistle. RNS close to extending their lead, but the Iron saying no there as this game remains a one-score game with 7:18 left in the third period and a face-off coming to the left of goaltender Marty Hackenberg. Coach Dupont sends his top unit out there. That'll be Dobbin, Toms, And Stassi up front with Boisclair and Ostrich on defense as that puck is won to Boisclair, who gets to Ostrich. Ostrich fans on that one. And here comes Robinson. Robinson with back pressure. And he'll backhand that one wide of the net. Good job by Boisclair to get back and chase him down. As Cadiz will try to put one on net. That goes off a stick and way out of play. So this faceoff will come back into the BCS end on a wild sequence there. Dobbin still out there to take the draw against his fellow number 8, McMullen. That one is won by the 8 in purple as they rim that one around to Stassi as it's 3-on-2. Oh, and that puck just gets off his stick. Otherwise, they could have had a good chance there. But puck hopping around and now corralled by Lawless as he sends that one rink wide for Cadiz, who dumps that one in for McMullen. McMullen with it now, working. But he gets that taken away from him. But his teammate Cadiz able to just put one on goal, and that's patted away by Fuocelli. Dobbin now up to Collingwood. But that is held at the line. Oh, and big hit by Collingwood on McMullen as he knocks him to the ice. As now Dunlap with it now. McMullen getting up. He's able to make a nice play to Lawless, who gives it over to Dunlap. We'll just chip it into the neutral zone where Boisclair will find it and put it deep for the Bears. Here's Dunlap with it. He'll try to send that one up the ball. But that hits a broken stick in the neutral zone. And so that will hold that up as Alvis Pereira looking to get away. That's worked to Bertrand and flipped ahead where Shockers will find it. But we have a delayed penalty here. As this will come against... This will come against number 7, Dunlap of RNS. 2 minutes for tripping, as that's a big blow to the RNS penalty kill, as Dunlap, one of their better players. So we'll see if the Riverhawks can hold off the Bears on the power play here. Very crucial next 2 minutes here for both teams, as this faceoff's won and controlled by the Bears, as this gets moved to Boisclair. Boisclair down to Stassi, up to Boisclair. Boisclair looking, back down to Stassi. Stassi up to Boisclair. Boisclair with it now, walking, looking. Tight penalty kill formation here for the Riverhawks as this gets sent to Labassa on the far side as he will switch and come up high as Dobbin gets it back. Now Dobbin looking back post, but that's blocked. In front again, and that's blocked. Rebound, chopped ahead, but that's blocked. As they send the puck to front. Here's Boisclair with it. Boisclair shooting, that's blocked. Dobbin rebound. Oh, that's safe. In front to Stassi, and he scores to tie it at 3. Pure chaos there in front of the RNS goal. But Stassi able to collect that puck off the end glass and tuck it home. And we have a tie hockey game here with 5:11 left at the Pat Burns Arena. Shots now 38-31. Great power play there, drawn up by Brody DuPont's team. As the penalty to Dunlap proved fatal. So we'll have a very entertaining last 5 minutes of hockey here, as this faceoff is won by and controlled by the Bears. But turnover to McFadden. Here comes McFadden in, as this is Collingwood with it in the corner. Is Ostrich with it, emerging with it. He'll flip it high into the neutral zone as Gorman will send it cross ice to Smith. Smith putting the shoulder down, working on Collingwood. Smith getting to the net. That's paddled away by Fuocelli and covered. The next faceoff will come to the left of goaltender Tyler Fuocelli, as RNS getting some fresh troops out there. This will be McMullen on the draw against Robitaille. That draw is won by Robitaille and rimmed around to Jockers. Jockers ahead to Legault. Here comes Legault working on Peltier. Legault driving wide. Legault to net. Pat save. Rebound. Scores! That's Rothesay with the go-ahead goal as they score 3 unanswered here in the third period to take a 4-3 lead with 4:27 left in the frame. Beautiful move there by Maverick Legault to drop the shoulder, drive the net, and get the initial shot off with Rothesay driving hard and depositing the rebound. What a turn of events here in the first semifinal. Lennoxville, not a far drive from Stanstead, just being about 45 minutes, so a large number of fans wearing purple in the stands today, as that puck is sent the length of the ice, but Stassi able to beat it out to prevent the icing. Stassi now with it to Dobbin. Dobbin to front. Here's Stassi. Scores! Oh my goodness. What a past 2 minutes here for the Bears as they score 3 goals to now extend their lead to 5-3. Rothesay just stunned. Stunned and looking to answer. No timeout here used by Coach Jeff Lewis, so he's leaving his boys to figure it out as he'll get his top line out there with Alvis Pereira working against Rosenstrom. That puck's put in on Fuicelli, and he'll play it to Ostrich, who will flip it ahead to Vladar, but kept in by Alvis Pereira. That's kicked out now of the zone by Collingwood and put back in by Peltier. Here's Ostrich with it now. Ostrich will get it up to Collingwood, but that's cut off by Moores. Vladar looking to get that puck out now, and able to do so as Vladar pushing ahead. Vladar stood up at the line by McClement as Alvis Pereira looking to push ahead. Alvis Pereira coming into the zone. Alvis Pereira putting one on net. Fuicelli rebound, and that laid loose to Moores, who will put it behind the net. As that's moved ahead now. And put ahead here by Legault. Legault finding Bertrand. Bertrand putting one to net. That's loose in front and now collected by Dunlap. Dunlap now motoring ahead. He's taken down. And RNS will get to the power play here with 3:10 left in the third period. We will see what Coach Jeff Lewis decides to do here. Will he use a timeout? And at which point will the goaltender Hackenberg come to the bench? As they do need 2 here. So I wouldn't be surprised to see goaltender Hackenberg coming out of the net fairly early here to create a 6-on-4. But he remains in there as of right now. As Cadiz will take the face-off. He wins that back to Smith. Smith to Peltier. Peltier to Dunlap. Dunlap curling. Looking for the lane. Back to Peltier's shot. That goes wide. As that is now cleared by BCS. And now Dunlap with it. Dunlap entering. Held. And that puck hits Jockers and out as Cadiz comes back with it. Cadiz over to Peltier. Ooh, Peltier brings this puck out. So they'll have to tag back up as he gives it back to Dunlap. Dunlap to McFadden, and just out of sorts here are the RNS power play. So another delayed offside. So BCS able to clear more time as Boisclair sends this to Dunlap down the ice. And here he comes, Dunlap entering. Dunlap coming down the wing. He'll circle the net. Dunlap around goal. He'll give it to Peltier. Peltier walking in, shot. That's blocked. Peltier still with it now as he circles the goal. Back up to Dunlap. Shot. And that gets blocked by Rosenstrom. Here's Moores on the wall with it. Up and chopped out as Peltier gets that puck up to Dunlap. He waits for his guys to get onside. Dunlap saucered ahead, but that's turned over, and Ostrich will send that the length of the ice. 30 seconds left here on the RNS power play as Hackenberg stops by. And let's see what he does here. That puck's moved up to Spurrell off his skate. And Spurrell over to McClement. Time running out here for the Riverhawks as 1:30 left in the contest as Hackenberg still in the goal. They'll go to Alves Pereira. Backdoor to Spurrell, and he misses high as he looked like he had the open cage. Coach Lewis asks where the faceoff is. This will come to the right of Fuicelli, but now we finally have a faceoff by the Riverhawks with 8 seconds remaining in the penalty to go. Jeff Lewis drawing up the face-off play for the Riverhawks as Brody Dupont draws up his 6-on-5 plan. As the timeout clock runs out and we get back to action here. So this face-off will come again to the right of Fuicelli. It's Alves Pereira now facing off against Robitaille for the draw. This face-off is won by Robitaille and then rimmed around by Black. But that puck is kept in. Empty net now for the Riverhawks, and that's off a skate and out. So they'll have to come back as Pelche grabs the puck in the neutral zone. He'll set it up. That's picked off, and glove down by Pelche to potentially save a goal there as Moores with it. Moores will send it cross ice to Spurrell. He'll drop it back to Dunlap, who puts one towards net. That's wide. Here's Moores with it. Moores puts it in deep to Smith. As Black with it, he's pressured. As that puck is pinned up against the wall, but that puck sent to front and now covered up by Fuicelli. Now with 43 seconds left in the third period, so RNS will have to strike early and often here if they have any chance of getting back in this one. So they'll line up to the left of Fuicelli as Jocker's getting a fresh piece of lumber from the bench. But it'll be Robitaille to take the draw for the Bears. Won by Robitaille. Rimmed around and kept in by Pelche for the moment, but out. So clock will continue to tick down as that shot gets sent the length of the ice, but off of Alves Pereira, so no icing. Here he is with the puck. As he gallops through the neutral zone, he'll kick it out, but again closed off there by Poulin, who sends it the length of the ice, but wide. So this will go for icing. Not the end of the world there for the Bears as they're up by 2. Now with 18 seconds left to play. It's Alves Pereira back on the draw. Alves Pereira winning it forward, but it's Black with the puck. Black looking just to kill any seconds he can as there's some hard board play here in the corner. But now we have 5 seconds left in this one as this will go 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. What a win by the BCS Bears as they'll appear in the final CPSHA final tomorrow as some post-game shenanigans taking place. But BCS now will await the winner of UCC and Stanstead in the following game as the refs still sorting out each team. As now the Bears finally able to celebrate as they celebrate with their fans. And the RNS CPSHA season coming to an end here. But what a comeback by the Bears, down 3-1 entering the final frame, scoring 4 unanswered in the period, including 3 within what seemed like the span of 3 minutes to roar ahead and secure the win for the school from Lennoxville. So now we will have player of the game presentations for each team. I will predict that it will be Stassi for BCS. And let's see. I'll say Spurrell for Rothesay. They'll give it to Alvis Pereira. Good choice as he scored that beautiful goal in the first period, adding a helper on the following goal as well. So good outing for him. And this will go, player of the game will go to the goaltender, Fuicelli, who had to make a flurry of saves throughout this one, finishing the game with 41 shots against. So he'll win that award for the Bears as they will rest up and be back here tomorrow for the final. And we'll be right back with the Stanstead UCC game at 7:30.